Playoff Monday night? Yep, that's what it is. And we're going to do a Q&A. Welcome in RGR Football. We appreciate you guys. It's nice to see you. I'm Ryan. This is Dan Harms. We are going to take you through the Chiefs Q&A. If you missed our live stream yesterday for the Bills playoff game, I hope that you will go back and check it out. If not, join us next week and we'll do another one. And it's a very different show than this one, where you guys run the show. You just give us your questions. We're going to provide you the answers, but you're in charge of this thing, just like Dan is in charge of keeping me on the straight and narrow so I don't lose my mind. How you doing, pal?
Oh, I'm doing good. I had a lot of fun yesterday. That was definitely not something we normally do. I liked the lackadaisical, maybe not lackadaisical, but the relaxed format that we could bring to that and just kind of answer questions, talk about the game and whatnot. So I had a lot of fun doing that. I'm excited to do it again next week. And you guys, we're here on a Monday and we still have no information on if the Chiefs are going to hire an offensive coordinator or not.
And I'm fine. Do it all himself.
I'm fine.
You're not twitching or anything. You're doing great.
No, not at all. I'm good.
It's going to be fine. Folks, every Super Chat gets an answer tonight, and we're going to try to address all of your questions. But if you don't know us already, put some question marks at the beginning of your sentence. It definitely helps us pick them out. And we're going to get to it right now because Thundarius is in here. 23 months in the memberships. He gets all the behind-the-scenes stuff, all my notes, all of our rants, all of the content that we put behind the wall. Appreciate you being here, Thundarius, and listen to him if you guys would. Smash that thumbs up. That would be great. We're going to have a good time, and we know that this ball game is going to kick off here later, and we'll keep an eye on it, but we're not going to do a strict play-by-play for this one. We have a ton of questions already, so we're just going to jump right into it. Daniel, I'm going to hit you with the first one from Swag. When watching offenses, it makes me so mad how fun they are to watch compared to the Chiefs. It's more of a comment than a question, but I can understand where you're coming from because there's so much potential in this Chiefs offense. But another question to him is, does Caleb Williams remind you of a young Mahomes? I also keep telling everyone that this Bear team has the same aura as the 19 Chiefs. What do you think?
I mean, I understand where you're coming from a little bit. I think that the offense isn't as explosive in the sense of one play scores like Patrick Mahomes and even Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill could bring to the table. But I understand where you're coming from because it does feel like in one or two plays they can score very, very easily. The one difference being, the run game after Kareem Hunt was a little bit different. This run game has been better in terms of scheme-wise, in my opinion. But yeah, I think that Caleb Williams has the same kind of feel where the biggest difference, I think, is that Patrick was a more controlled quarterback. Okay, so he still made those big plays, but he never really made the "what are you doing there" play. It never felt like he made the "what are you doing." Caleb still has the well, what was that? Like, why'd you throw that? Why'd you airmail that one? We're seeing more of the airmails now from Patrick Mahomes in that sense and the deep balls, but definitely understand that.
I agree with you there, and I do think there's an element of it. I'll echo what I said yesterday, is that I think they did him a great disservice pairing him with a defensive-minded coach to begin his career and someone who wasn't able to bring him along. I feel like he's lost a year, but he's coming along, and I think that he will. I liked him very much coming out. He was my QB1, so let's see what happens there. Brad, my options to me to be the next offensive coordinator should be Dable, Kafka, maybe Cliff. But I doubt that would work. I'm with you on the first two, and I think every day that goes by where they haven't made an announcement means more and more that it's Kafka or Joe Blameyer, to tell you the truth. I don't think Cliff's in it either. Do you?
I don't. I really don't. It just doesn't seem like it meshes very well with what they're going to want to do. And I've also talked myself into. Matt Lane put a good tweet out today where Matt Nagy's contract is officially up January 19th. It would be very Andy Reid to just not do anything until the contract is officially over. And maybe he's just giving him that, which he can't even meet with teams in person. He's doing everything virtually. So there is a little bit of, Matt Nagy is under contract. I don't know if that prevents them from doing anything, but we have not heard a peep.
Yeah, it has been all quiet. So Cole asked, when did Demarcus Robinson become good? He was always good. He became clutch recently. And unfortunately, Sky Moore improved when he left Kansas City as well. Like, There's multiple instances of some of this development that we always talk about not happening in Kansas City, not happening.
Yeah, DeMarcus has multiple. You guys go watch the highlight reel. He's got multiple really good football games, really good double moves, and he caught lots of touchdowns from Patrick Mahomes. I would say he's the exact same player that he was. I'm willing to bet he's the exact same player that he was if I went and watched his games, like all of them since. But I think that there is a big difference in what they're asking him to do. Just go be you. Just do that. Now, there was an aspect of that with DeMarcus and Patrick because they kind of saw the game the same way in the sense where DeMarcus probably never cared about breaking his route off where the defensive leverage was. He probably never cared about any of that. And he was just like, hey, I see space. I'm going to go there. I'm going to go do that. And Patrick says, hey, I see space too. I'm going to throw it there. And that's exactly what happened.
You learn to run with your hand up is what you do so that Patrick can see you. That's how that works. Chess Mass, two-parter here. What's the minimum amount of players the Chiefs have to come out of the draft with? And how many and how high do they need to draft an RB for you to be satisfied? 6th round. Love you all so much. Appreciate you, Chess Master. I mean, if they were to trade away picks, they got to come away with 5 players minimum, in my opinion, in order to make this successful. There's just too many holes otherwise. And if they get other things done, I can live with anybody on day 3. I could even go up to the 4th round if they really had to, but I'd prefer 5th or lower.
If they're going to get a couple bites at the apple on day 2, in early day 3, then I'm good. Again, if they can find a way to get an extra 3rd round pick, running back all day long. But again, this class is not last year's class. I don't think it's going to be as top heavy, but there are still going to be some good players in the 4th round, 5th round. So that's not something I'm super worried about. But I also think that they need to add a good player in free agency.
Agreed. Thanks, Justin. Mike, I hope you're doing good. I saw a mock yesterday that had Bain, Bailey, and another top edge rusher going top 8, which forced the Chiefs to pick Love at 9. Do you think Casey will pick Love if this happens? No, I do not. I think they learned their lesson from Clyde. They will not pick a running back at 9. But I also don't think that all those guys are going to go in the top 8. I do think we are very, very early in the cycle. And I do think tackles are going to push up. And I do think some quarterbacks are going to push up, as we naturally see almost every single year. So I do think there's some optimism to be had there.
Yeah, right now, the tackle out of Georgia who just declared is getting a lot of buzz.
Right.
Someone who wasn't even in conversation to go in the 2nd round, much less the 1st round, like he's currently being talked about. So let's go ahead and wait until the Senior Bowl happens, the Combine happens, when we talk about all of these tackles, probably more, maybe another quarterback finds his way up. Who knows what's going to happen between now and then.
I'm with you. And to tie into that question, Kyle, thank you for the super chat, pal. And thanks for being a member. Who are the top running backs in this class? And would we consider going after any of them? Only halfway asking for my dynasty league next season. Do you have a list in mind?
I mean, I'm gonna trust in my favorite other draft analyst, Damian Parson, to give me some help here with that, because he's got the lowdown on running backs in this class.
I trust D as well.
I mean, again, it's not a super top heavy group. I think there's going to be some value. He's a big on obviously Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price, which is the other Notre Dame running back. Mm-hmm. He's actually really high on Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska, and he's where I'm at with Katron Allen. He's got a 3rd round grade, and that's the sweet spot I think would be for Katron. If you can get an extra 3rd round pick and you can get him there, or the 4th round, like that's where I'm saying go get that guy.
Yeah, I am 100% with you on him. I like what he does very much as well. I will throw out a late rounder UDFA type guy. I love the kid from Oregon. Didn't get much playing time this year, Whittington. I think he's like a 3rd down type back that would fit this system, and you don't have to spend anything on him, because I don't even know that he'll get drafted, but I just like to throw those guys out there as well. So, Kyle, I guess the bigger question in Kyle's question is, do you think they go after those guys, meaning 2nd, 3rd round pick, day 2, let's say?
I don't think so, especially how it's currently constructed. I don't think that they have the wiggle room to draft a running back that high. But again, who knows?
Yeah. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you. Patrick, I know the D lineups as a prior to this offseason and this draft, but Do we have a right tackle position soon needed to be filled? And can we trust Jalen Moore, or should we go get a right tackle out of Miami or Utah? The Utah kid in particular has become one of my favorite, like, what if scenarios. He looks to me, at least on the initial, I haven't gotten over to the tackles and actually breaking down their film, just randomly seeing him play some snaps. I do like the athleticism that I see there. And I do think if you can't get a top priority defender, you could make an investment in another rookie tackle. And maybe Jalen Moore is your swing for this second season. I still think he's worth it at his salary.
Yeah, it's kind of where I fell when I watched his tape last year on Jalen Moore. Like, I didn't really see a guy who was a starter. And the tape kind of bears that out, that he's a good backup. He's a good swing tackle, and that's not necessarily where you want to be. I think he can be fine at right tackle. But unfortunately, I do think that and then that's why the contract is what it is, right? It wasn't a huge contract in free agency because they didn't know what he was going to be, but they had a good grade on him coming out in the draft when he came out of Western Michigan. He had some decent run for Trent Williams 2 years ago. So they took a chance on it, and we're going to see what happens. There's also another offseason here. There's also time for him to still get better. He's not an old player by any stretch. I just don't think Funnel's going to be there. I think he's the top-rated tackle on Brandon Thorne's board, and I think he's probably going to go into the top 5 because of that tackle tax.
Yeah, there's always something there. I'm enjoying right now getting him in the teens. On my mock drafts, I don't think that's going to last a whole lot longer. So
no,
enjoy it while we got it, folks. That's what I'll say. And this one's for you because I think I've gone over this question a couple times. Thank you, Mike. I saw a draft pod that said Bain is an interior DL only, and he'll struggle on the edge. Where do you think he should play, is particularly in KC if he lands here, Dan?
All right, guys. I don't know what draft pod you were listening to, but they didn't watch him play. They didn't watch it. They heard something, and if they did watch him, then they didn't actually pay attention, or they don't know how to break down film. They don't know how to watch it. So I will be doing my own film breakdown of Ruben Bain on Wednesday, specifically to get rid of this narrative, because it's a disgusting narrative and that I can't stand people putting out there. He can produce inside and play. Absolutely. He's thick enough, leg, lower body, upper body, arms. He can definitely play there. He can play on the edge. He can absolutely play on the edge. The footwork says it all. So in Kansas City, he would be a defensive end because he can play defensive end. And what they ask their defensive ends to do, he can absolutely execute. He does get carried away a little bit. We're going to get more into that on Wednesday. I almost got on a tangent, but just understand that that film review is coming, and he can play anywhere from 0 to 9. There's nothing like, there's no hyperbole there. That is exactly what he can do. He has played every single position from 0 to 9 at Miami.
That tells you it all. Now, there's going to be a lot of discussion about Bain back and forth. We will go over it every step of the way as our opinions change as well. Now, Daniel, I want to give you a heads up here because I'm about to do something stupid that I said I never, ever do.
Oh, okay.
I'm about to try to put and stream this game at the same time that we're doing this.
What?
So please take this question, and I'm going to make an attempt here.
All right, here we go. Chiefs comments. Appreciate you. It's still very early in the draft cycle. Is there a player that is consensus outside of the top 10 or maybe even later you think could climb the board? A bonus that could be an option for KC. I mean, the easy answer is there's always somebody. Like, there's literally always somebody that can climb the board. I think right now it's probably Caden Proctor, tackle for Alabama. He did not have the best start to the season. Oh, I'm screwing things up. I should probably stop doing that on the board. I think he is probably the easiest answer. Oh, shoot. I screwed that up. Okay. I'm going to have to fix that. It's not on you. I don't know how to fix that. I'm going to have to let Brandon know. But I don't know what I did.
All right, Brando.
But I think that's one of the guys. There's going to be, like I said, DBs, corners. Jermon McCoy might surprise as well because he's going to run in the combine, and a guy with his talent coming off of an injury, if he confirms that he's good to go, there could be a very big jump there for him. And I do think corner is a possibility for the Chiefs in that regard as well. But looking like at edges, I guess if Akeem Mesidor has a fantastic Senior Bowl, like he's unblockable, he blows up the combine. Okay, there is a outside chance that he could be a first round pick. He's going to be 25 years old. Like I'm not sold on that, but I don't see there being any other realistic possibilities. Maybe a TJ Parker out of Clemson is one of them that has the chance of really getting up there that high.
Yeah, I haven't watched Parker yet. He is next on my list. But I also think the Mesidor, because of the age factor, is likely to be there when they pick in the second round. So I think that's a factor as well. And maybe even Mateo Uyunglele, I do like his game as well. The more I watch it, the more I think he's got a lot of work to do on finishing. But I think a lot of the core movement stuff is there.
I'm gonna break your heart. You didn't see it. He's going back to Oregon.
Oh crap! I did not see yet. Yeah, I'm broken. I'm done. Son of a motherless. Okay.
Sorry, man.
Thanks for letting me know, brother. Damn it.
You're welcome.
Sometimes I just don't get what I want, folks. That's just the way it goes. And it looks like we are live. Playoff football on Monday night, and my system hasn't crashed yet, so we're going to just go with it. Okay. I feel like we should go after in free agency, Jawan Briggs, who the Chiefs did have interest in, and Boye Mafe, who they did have interest in, and Tart. I don't like Tart. I don't like his attitude. He does get off the ball pretty well. The other two, absolutely, they are guys that to keep on the radar now that they're going to be free agents. What do you think of Tart?
I mean, he's been good for the Chargers. He was an option I thought before, but again, I'm with you. I don't really like his attitude.
Like I don't know that fits in the locker room. We'll find out. Thanks, Brad. Daz, thank you for the support, buddy. Good to see you again. How much better is Love than Breece Hall, or vice versa? Well, you got to factor in the salary, buddy. Is Love at an eighth of Hall's salary, a tenth of Hall's salary better? I will tell you this: when it comes to running backs, you have two yins and yangs. You have mileage in the NFL, which Breece Hall's already had injury and is at a disadvantage there, versus experience. And there's always more risk in taking a guy who's never played in the league versus someone who has. So there is that kind of balance right now. Bang for the buck. I'm going probably Love on day 2. I don't think he lasts that long, but I think just as a player without draft capital, I think Love's probably the better value.
Yeah, I think he is too. I think he's going to be a better player in the NFL too. I like Breece Hall, the athlete, but I think Love has better vision, and he sees it better. And that's important to me.
Yeah, it makes the world go round, especially at that position. So cheers to you. Thanks, Des. Nice to see you. Micah, do you guys think that Clark has not allowed the team to wear all red uniforms the last 3 years and has banned players from wearing number 0? I don't know that he's banned them from wearing 0, and I don't know that he's had anything to do with the all reds. I got nothing, man. If you're hearing that, I got nothing. I don't know why he would do either of those things.
I have no idea either. And I fixed it. Sorry. Whew, we're good. We're good. I fixed what I screwed up.
Brandon Thorne does not have to hunt you down.
I was so little behind the scenes here, guys. I had accidentally messed up part of the rankings. Like I accidentally just messed up what he was doing because I had it up and then I accidentally clicked something. So if you're doing something on work for anybody else that you have access to, stay off of it for the future.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Ooh, good Lord. Brad, I keep hearing people say the Caleb Downs and keep comparing him to Eric Berry, which I don't think they're similar, but they're two different type of players with a different mentality. I have not watched the safeties. Daniel, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's a completely fair comp. I think Barry might have been more linebacker-ish, maybe linebacker-esque, but they both have the instincts, the trigger. They can play anywhere you want them to. Barry might have had a bit more range, but I don't think that downs has bad range at all. I think he can play free safety too. Like there were a couple times this year that OSU asked him to do that, and he was great. Like he was still excellent at doing that. So I understand like people want to put expectations on players based on those kind of things, but for me, like when you put comparison on player, maybe it just reminds you of like play style probably reminds, and that's what it is. He can also man up against tight ends. That's something Eric Berry was really great at too. Like, so I think there are a lot of comparisons in their game, and we're not trying to say they're going to be the same player.
Right. Okay, fair enough. I'm scrolling for other comments if you want to take the next one.
Yeah, no, I got you. I was actually doing the same thing, so we're good. Terry, man, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. What can we do better to make Mahomes' life easier on the field? Number one thing is run the damn ball. And run the damn ball again. And run the damn ball again. Now, I'm not here for what Ryan has been suggesting forever.
Folks, my work is done. You heard it.
We're not here for a 60-40 run pass split. But they have the offensive line now when they're healthy. They can move people up front. Kingsley didn't stick at tackle, but guess what? Kingsley's going to be a top guard in the NFL by the end of next year. I'm telling you right now. He's already a very good guard, and he got better so quickly throughout the year. He was excellent this past season. So I'm very excited about what him and Josh Simmons are going to be able to do, and you can weaponize those guys, but have a more diverse run game. You don't have to be the Charge or the Rams where all you do is run duo. Like that's literally all they do. But you have to have a little bit of diversity into it. You have to be able to make a defense think when you run the ball, it can hit. It can be explosive. If they add just that to their game, just that, Andy Reid's expectation of the offense goes up because what is his offense predicated upon? Exploiting space, getting guys in zone and manipulating that space and then getting yards after catch. If you can create voids with the run game and an explosive run game that defenses have to respect, you are going to create more voids for wide receivers to settle down in. It just is. It's a simple fact.
Yeah, I'm with you. And Knicks fan, I'm just going to put you up because I just saw this and I literally couldn't have said it better. I appreciate you, my friend. I very much appreciate you. Dan's going to start twitching.
Oh no,
11 fullbacks. I'm bringing it back.
I don't have to do that. We're not bringing the fullback back, guys. Sorry, that ain't happening. All right,
killing me, Smalls. What do you see us doing in free agency? As a post that Veach said, we need to sign 2 defensive linemen, an edge, and a running back. As far as I understand, Terry, Veach has made no comments whatsoever at all. I'll let you know when he does because it will be pretty big news when he does speak.
It was just a report from Nate Taylor. And again, I respect Nate. I'm not sure how much information he gets from the inside. I'm just not sure. I would love to believe everything that is reported, but I am skeptical because of what we know about the Chiefs organization to begin with. So, I mean, this is also very easy to just say, by the way. It's you watch them and you can say, oh, they need 2 defensive linemen. They need an edge because, well, Charles Menahue, Mike Dana, these guys are going to be gone next year. Like we're going to have to, there's easy things to kind of see and point to. So there's going to be a lot that they have to be able to do in free agency. They're not going to get everything done they have to. You're probably not going to get a real defensive end. It'd be nice if you did, but we'll see. And I do think they have to have a running back for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, all those are legitimate needs for sure. But Terry, I don't believe that Brett Veach has done a one-on-one with anyone in the postseason in years. I know he does do them sometimes in season, but for the most part, Brett Veach talks to all the gaggle of the reporters. So you're going to hear it from everybody when he does say something. So just keep an eye on that. Everybody has insight. Everybody has sources. A lot of sources come and go, and a lot of them are in Chicago currently. That's all I'm going to say. I feel like we could get a right tackle in this draft for us, the Chiefs, on day 2. And there's another name I should look at. There's several. But honestly, at 9, it would be probably Fano. I don't think that's much of a stretch. I'd have to look down at the rest of the tackle list. I have my initial watch list kind of sorted out, but I probably won't get that until the combine list is announced because I'm going to concentrate on the defensive line first, and I've only got 15 or 16 prospects done there. So I'm working away on it. I'll give you more later, Brad. Do you have a list?
I would say Carter Smith is somebody you should look at. Richard Jr. out of Indiana. He's a good player. I like him.
Yep, I like him too. Oh, yeah, okay. And I would even say World came into the season highly rated. I don't think he's played that well, but I do think he's salvageable. And as a guy that you could get probably early day 3, I like the concept there.
Yeah, he's a redshirt senior, and he's been just dropping on Brandon's board all year long.
Yeah.
He's been like, no. He's been like, this guy.
Yeah. I think it is this particular system, which, by the way, for you Oregon Duck fans, well done. Maybe the announcement of the day today that I liked the most was Dylan Raiola going to the Ducks next season. I think that's going to be really intriguing because he is a loose freaking cannon, and I want to see how they try to reel him in.
Those two deserve each other. Dan Lanning, a fake rage baiting guy, and Dylan Raiola just taking Patrick Mahomes' gig from him. Like, those two deserve each other.
Yeah, I think it's going to be entertaining. Tony, Howie calls you and asks for a second-round pick for A.J. Brown. Do you think about doing that deal? I mean, do I think A.J. Brown is the level of player that deserves a second-round pick? Yes. Would I give it to him? No, because A.J. Brown don't want to freaking be there. He's got a headache on him. It's a fire sale. You need to get value out of that. That shit yesterday made me sick.
It was disgusting. It was one of the most, and that's why I hate Nick Sirianni. He's the cringiest coach I've ever seen in my entire life. And to go and run after somebody coming off the field is just a disrespectful thing to do, no matter who you believe you are. And Nick Sirianni is one of the worst people I've ever seen on the sidelines. But I wouldn't give it to him because he's going to be $23 million against the cap this season. And then in 2030, he's $53 million against the cap. Because they have void years onto that contract all the way to 2033. So there are a lot of not just cap hits, which honestly, his play's gone down. He is not. Now, maybe it's because he doesn't want to be in Philadelphia, but I don't think financially that they can trade him. They might be on the book for that $53 million because of the void years. They might not be able to trade him.
Yeah, it might be irrecoverable unless you just eat it and release him outright and just eat all that money. Daniel, just because I just saw this, thanks to Trevor Hall, is this true as well? Washington's going back as well?
Also going back, yep.
Folks, my mock drafts are going up in smoke as we speak. I like both those guys for their fits and what they do in this system. So just don't get hurt next year, fellas. Don't get hurt next year. That's all I'm going to say. Son of a...
Please don't.
God, it makes me upset. Okay. Back to the top of the list. Thank you, Perry, and for your support as you always do. How do you all view injuries for prospects? ACL for Chris Bell. Is it worth the risk outside of slam dunks like Simmons? It depends on the school is what I will tell you, because you have more confidence in some medical staffs and you have more confidence in the information you get from some staffs, medical or strength conditioning or whatever. In the end, you got to do your own homework. You're going to get a medical. The biggest thing of the combine is the medical.
Yeah.
But you got to follow that up with your own docs. And that's the only reason the Chiefs were comfortable. I generally ding guys between 16 picks and a full round if I'm concerned about it.
It's all about their own evaluations. Like, that's it. I can't view injuries for prospects any other way than, are you healthy? And if you're not, when are you going to be healthy? Are you going to be able to play this year? And when is that going to be? So when we talked last year about Josh Simmons, it's because we believed he wasn't going to be able to play at all because no one knew the severity of the injury. And then we had to backtrack and say, well, the Chiefs did their own evals. They think he's going to be fine. Guess what? He was fine. He was great. He had zero ill effects, honestly, from the injury. So that's just, it's not something that I can know. It's not something I'll be privy to. So I try not to overreact to injuries unless they are late season injuries. Like if they happen at the end of the year, yes, you're going to go down my board. But Jermon McCoy didn't play this year at all. He's not impacting him at all. Not at all.
Yeah. In fact, he should be better off for it, to tell you the truth. And to be certain with Simmons. The combine docs missed it, and so did 31 other teams. So kudos to the Chiefs for hitting that one absolutely out of the park. Alex, appreciate you for 3.5 years in the memberships. You're the man. And I think that I can say very much so that you're one of the most prolific question askers on this show. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Should Mahomes demand the Chiefs spend money in free agency? He can, but he's got to give up his contract to do it, because right now they're $58 million over the cap. They got no money to spend at this point. He would have to void his salary at some point, which I do think is a possibility, but they got to get the space first.
Demanding anything is not in Patrick Mahomes's mentality. That's not really how he handles himself. Unless it's on the field, like he's going to demand expectations from everybody. But when it comes to money, Patrick doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's going to go up to Clark Hunt and demand that he spends money. He's going to give his opinion because it's going to be asked, and it should be when you are the franchise, and it should always be asked. So he'll give his opinion. I do think this year that Clark has to do a better job of actually spending real money dollars, not just actual cash, which is something that he hasn't been historically good at doing. But it's time to start loosening those just a little bit, especially if you're trying to show everybody that Andy Reid is not the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good point. Folks, if you want to continue to support the channel, the Super Chats are the way to do it here. If you want the gear for any of our logo IDs, hats, shirts, the whole 9, check out the store. And if you really want to help us out, you can also go over and get subscribed to NFL 33, where we do some of our work as well. Dan obviously has the outlet at Bleacher Report. That's where a ton of his work will be, but he is still with us on 33. And we will have our draft guide, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you for all of your support at this point. And I do want to get to this one because Dark Horse asked this a couple times. Cheers to you. Is it possible to trade Chris Jones to the Titans for the 4th overall pick? And if we do, who do we trade with that and the 9th pick? I don't think Chris Jones is worth the 4th overall. I don't think Mike Borgonzi would give that up.
No.
I do think there is a possibility that you could get, say, 4 and 36 for 9 and Chris Jones. That's in the realm of possibility. I don't think they're giving up 4 for a player at 32 years old. Will he be? Right?
Something like so 31. I think so, but still 30, over 30-year-old player. So
yeah, it would involve a pick swap plus Chris is what I'm thinking.
I would be interested. I'd be very intrigued if that were a possibility.
Yeah, I do think Chris Jones is one of the top guys that I think Mike Borgonzi trusts. He was in on the evaluation of Chris Jones coming out, and I do think as a guy who's looking to make a splash and wants to pick from the pile of the people that he has, he's going to look at Chiefs free agents, and he might come calling for Chris Jones or Trent McDuffie.
Maybe.
It is what it is. Josh, as a Mizzou fan, I hope you feel the same, but I believe Zion Young from Mizzou is a Spags guy and can be productive in the NFL. I have no opinion yet because I have not seen him yet. Dan, have you?
Same here, unfortunately.
Okay.
I have not seen that one. Maybe we'll do something like that later. I'll have to see what round he's going, because I'm not going to just focus on first round picks available for the Chiefs. We're going to get into day 2s as well and day 3s, stuff like that. So be a lot of stuff we get to.
Yeah, we're still very early days on the draft. Or I'm very early days on the draft cycle here, and yet I'm getting to start a few weeks early. Dan is on other positions, and that's what he's been spending his time on for Bleacher. So we will get there, Josh, and I will have something for you here, maybe sooner rather than later. Red, I see teams being physical, and the Chiefs were missing that this year. What they would get after it from time to time? Agreed. These teams have to have an eye of the tiger fight in them. They absolutely do. And that's why I'm very intrigued by what's going on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know that Steve Spagnuolo is going anywhere at this point. It doesn't feel like it to me. There is still some things that could happen. You could lose coordinators from playoff teams. You could lose head coaches from playoff teams. You never know. There's still stuff out there, but it does feel like that's going to be I think the staff around him might change. Joe Cullen's taken interviews. So there definitely could be somebody. Well, okay, fair enough. I thought there was a second, but maybe you're right. I only saw one confirmed. So there is a possibility that the defensive staff changes somewhat. And I think they got to get somebody in there with edge because they don't have it on the defensive line. George Karlaftis is a quiet guy. Chris Jones is like a funny guy. Like there's no Frank Clark on this roster right now.
No, you're not wrong. And there are a lot of, I mean, they're not like a huge finesse team, but they kind of play like a finesse team, specifically on the offensive line. And they have a bunch of power guys, but they don't really try to get after in the run game as much. And it feels like, you have the effort players and Gelati and George Karlaftis, but there's no just ass kickers on the defensive line. Like there aren't any of them.
Maybe I should rethink my Tart comment from before. Maybe they need somebody. Damn it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Just changed my whole perspective. So intact, if Bain, Downs, Love, Tate, and Tyson are all on the board at 9, who do you take? I'm not taking a wide receiver. I'll tell you that. I'm taking that out of the rotation. It's Bain or Downs, probably.
Yeah. I think those are the two guys, and I'm taking Bain.
Okay. I mean, I can't bring myself to take Downs at 9 either. I can't invest in that position currently at that when you are screaming for pass rush.
No, I get it. If Bain's not there, I'm taking Downs. If the pass rushers are gone, I'm taking Downs. And again, it's not necessarily just because of need with Bain. It's
lost Dan a little bit. We'll see if he recovers here.
Because
how did the
I should be back.
Now you're back.
Now you're back. I saw it all flip through. So I think it's because he's not just the top, like a need. He's a top 5 player in the draft and a need along the defensive line that you actually have to have. So if it were a little bit different, maybe I would feel differently about drafting Downs over it because he is the highest rated player on our board. But we'll see.
Yeah. Perry, thank you for this question. And I think I probably hinted at it. For the D lineman at Oregon returning, it wrecked some of my plans, honestly. I thought one or both of them would be available at the top of the second that I thought would be good fits. I thought you could move around a little bit. But I will tell you this, in 27, I will be watching for both of them to have improved their games, which admittedly both can in terms of pass rush. Uyunglele, I like the possibility. He is not the most prolific pass rusher. I believe he came in at number 13 in my pressure metrics so far. There's other things that need to go into before the evaluation is done, but certainly not like elite in this class. So I can understand that he's got room to grow still.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It would have been nice to see him both come out.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, though, Perry. Appreciate you. And Dub Freak, nice to see you. Thank you again. Over 2 years in the memberships. Always good to hear from you. Is there any viable guard or tackle for late day 2 or 3? I feel we need to raise the floor on the O-line. Well, honestly, I feel like Nourzad raised the floor. I feel like you have your top 4 interior guys with Nourzad on board. Do you?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that there's always a good argument to be made to invest in the offensive line, invest in the trenches when you have the opportunity to. So, I mean, I'm sure they're going to at least draft one if they can get maybe another draft pick or 2. I think that they still need to get a couple more because they have 6 for this draft, right? Like that's not a lot.
Yeah, I agree. It's very, very difficult. I'm going to do some real quick just because I want to pull up some rankings on it just to differentiate myself. Because when I think about it, I have a tendency, much like the Chiefs have in the past, to drift towards the athletic-based tackles, which doesn't always work out. Like I like what Manoa does, the big kid right tackle from Miami, but he doesn't fit this offense. He is not fleet of foot enough for what they usually want to do. But it also changes me. Like if they go to more of a power-based run game, he's a guy that you want there. Proctor comes to mind there as well. There's another kid, Miller, that I think could do some of those things. You mentioned Carter. There's one other kid that I can't remember his name, but he opened his damn mouth and it bit him. The kid from Texas A&M, Zune. Like I do think there's possibilities there, but I don't feel like this tackle group is that strong, Dan. Do you?
It's not the best. I mean, there's going to be, I think, some players that end up developing, but just little tidbit of information that Brandon has Maui Noah as a guard.
Does he? Okay.
Not a tackle.
Again,
that doesn't mean he's not going to be a tackle in the NFL. It just
Right.
means that he thinks he's going to be better at guard than he will be at tackle in the NFL.
I mean, honestly, Kingsley's better at guard. I was wrong. He didn't make that transition. If he'd had another year, I think he still probably could have done it. But right now, he's a better guard. That looks like what Maui Noah will be. So
I also just want to point out that Kingsley got better throughout the season. Like, he struggled a little bit in the beginning, and then he got better throughout the season. Maybe, I don't know, maybe if that was afforded to him at tackle, he would have been fine. But we'll never know. But and honestly, I tweeted this out after it happened. If you would have told me you're going to draft Kingsley in the second round, he's going to be a longtime starter at guard, I'm pretty happy with the situation. And he's probably going to be a longtime starter at guard.
Yeah. I can definitely live with that. That's going to work just fine for me. Nick asked, would you take Woods at 9?
I think I would. And again, this would have to be a situation where every single person that you are drafting, that you want to draft, is off the board. And I like Woods, but if you aren't trading Chris Jones, there's not a spot for him on this roster. There isn't. So if you trade Chris Jones and you hold on to 9, you pick up another first round pick, okay, I will absolutely take Peter Woods at 9. And then we'll just talk about that later. But I do think that if you have Chris Jones, taking Woods is a tough ask because you don't have anywhere to put him. He can't really play defensive end in the NFL unless he loses weight. And I just don't think he's cut out to play one tech.
No, in fact, he was the first DI that I did in my film reviews. And I have not gone back and finished in last year. So I was just looking at 25. But he does not have get off enough to affect the passer. He does not have the passer skills that the Chiefs need and that I have to have if I'm investing a top 10 pick. You have to be a guy that kills quarterbacks if you're going in the top 10 for me. Otherwise, I'm getting the hell out of there and I'm getting value for it. I don't see Peter Woods anywhere near that. He might be a first rounder for me, but I don't see him in the top 10.
That's fair.
This is what it is. Now watch, he'll go like 3rd and then just have to eat some crow. Michael, what do you think about drafting Arvell Reese if he falls? If he doesn't pass as an edge, might as well turn him into a will linebacker. Can he survive at will at the next level? I've seen him be fast. I don't know if he's that fast. But this is a big, big gamble to take in the top 10. I don't know that I could pull that. Dan might disagree, but Michael, I appreciate the question. And
am I here? Am I here?
You are now. You are now.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of blipping. It's being weird. Reese is a tweener. And for a guy who you probably want to project at edge, that might be where his top tier skill level is. Maybe Ryan just backed out. I don't know what happened there. Maybe he'll be back. I feel like you're drafting someone who doesn't have a real position at the moment. Talent-wise, yes, I would, but you don't. We're just having fun.
It's all an adventure.
I don't think he can play will linebacker in the NFL. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out. We'll see in a few years. We'll see. And again, this is not study. I have not studied Arvell Reese. This is feeling I get from having sporadically watched OSU's defense. So I could be very wrong.
He will be on my list to watch, though. So I will have an answer for you later in the offseason, Michael. Say hi to everybody up there for us in Canada. Appreciate you guys. Ruthless, thank you for being a member and for this one. They were interested in trading up and drafting Gibbs when he came out. Do you think they can fall in love with Jeremiah? Can they? I don't see them as the same player. Gibbs was a home run hitter in college too, and Jeremiah runs well. I think he's more elusive than he is like home run, break it out of the park kind of guy.
No, I would agree with that. I think that Jeremiah is on the tier below below Gibbs. I had Gibbs in the same tier as Bijan Robinson. Like I thought they were this, maybe Bijan a little bit better, and I think you can see that. But Gibbs is just as talented. He's just a little bit of a different kind of talent, and that's why he reminded me of Jamal Charles. Like it was Jeremiah's fun. He's not that fun. He's fun.
I need to see a stiff arm to go with that spin move. That's all I'm going to say for right now. Ruthless,
He's like
I
that guy
appreciate
playing,
it.
spamming it right in the open field, just spam,
Right,
spam,
yeah,
spam,
yeah.
spam.
Big Green, nice to see you, and thank you, Ruthless. If May wins Super Bowl and MVP, he may be better than Pat. Do it 3 times and we'll talk.
There's a zero. Yeah, no, there's no chance he'll be better than Pat right now. Like just winning a Super Bowl and an MVP in his second year means that he's done what Patrick did once.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah, it's a good start. It's great, and I'm really impressed with him. And you guys know how I feel about Josh McDaniels. So for him to win in spite of Josh McDaniels, I'm very impressed with May.
There's nothing wrong with Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator. There's everything wrong with Josh McDaniels, the head coach. He's a terrible head coach.
There's lots wrong with him.
I didn't say as a person. I said as an offensive coordinator.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry, I'm going to hold this grudge, people. Chiefs comments, appreciate you. It's still very early in the draft cycle. You're absolutely right.
Bye.
Night. Is there a player that is consensus outside of the top 10, or maybe even later, that you think could climb the board?
Oh, we did this one, yeah.
Oh, did we? Okay, I'm sorry, I missed it. My fault. I wish they stopped teaching the wide receiver to do dummy rights. You're absolutely right, Knicks fan. And that is something that I think is the inability of the coach they previously had to coach them. And I think a lot of things have to, quite frankly, grow up with this staff. Todd Pinkston, if he stays on this roster, has to be coaching the wide receivers as far as I'm concerned. He cannot stay in his current role either, because I don't think the running backs are developing very much at all either. That said, I'd like to see some serious coaches come in rather than treating these as the junior development positions. These are not quality control coaching positions. These are position coaching positions.
That is, I think, where my biggest frustration comes down to, is that while I get what you're trying to do, Andy, you're effectively hurting your roster by letting players, guys, coaches do whatever they want to with positions they've never coached before.
Yeah, I'm with you. Brian Acker, appreciate you. Watching the college football playoffs, some fast defensive linemen. What are your thoughts on the draft? I agree. There are also some guys that are just bulls in china shops, like the Miami kids. I do think like the Texas Tech defensive line is much more speed-based and twitch-based, and I generally like that a little bit better. But I think overall, so far, the defensive line group looks like it's decent. I won't say it's as good as a couple of years past, but it is good, and it is more speedy. So if you're a 3-4 team, I think you like what the linebackers bring. If you're a 4-3 edge group, you're probably not as happy, but you might have some slicers on the inside of DI that maybe you like. I just haven't found them yet.
Yeah, it's every draft class is different, and this is why I went on a little tangent on Twitter like a week or two ago. I don't think there's ever a thing as a bad class. There's never such thing. It doesn't matter what you think about it at the time. Every single one of those produces NFL players and top NFL players in some way, shape, or form. So whether they're going to be special teams players, contributors, stars, Pro Bowlers, every class has them. Some have a little bit more than others, but by and large, you're getting good players. And if you do the work and if you scout the positions and you can develop talent, you're going to be just fine.
You got to go where the talent is that fits what you're doing. It works. Dirty, nice to see you. Thanks for being a member. Heard the wide receiver coach was fired. Any word about other coaches not named Reed? Yes, Connor Everett has been relieved. He is gone. The only other person that we know is leaving this staff is Matt Nagy, because he is without a contract. He will not be returning. I'll tell you that now. Joe Cullen interviewing with someone else was intriguing, but we don't. That may just be somebody was offering him like a DC role. That if you're a position coach in this league, you take those interviews no matter what. So we don't know that anybody else is actually leaving. So to be continued. What do you guys think of the Texas Tech D linemen, pass rushers? Lee Hunter, Romello Height, and David Bailey. I like Hunter as a second day guy. I'm not sure exactly how high. Bailey's probably going to be the first pass rusher off the board. He is more of a 3-4 guy in my book, but some believe he can lock down a 4-3 edge role. We'll see. I really like the upside of Romello Height. I think he's a day 2 guy, though, and I see a lot of mock drafts putting him as a first rounder. I don't see it. He is too one-trick pony so far. He has a lot of development to do with his hands and with his body positioning, but he looks to me physically like he has all the physical skills of Brian Burns the year before he came out. You know what I mean? So there's some physical development there. And he is, what is he, 24? I think he's a 5th-year senior.
Yeah, I
Might be
think so.
super senior. So I don't know if you're going to get that from him. So I think his game will always be speed-based for the most part.
And that's okay for where he's
Mhm.
probably going to end up being. You know, if you're projecting to be kind of more of a designated pass rusher, I think that's probably where you end up with him for the most part. I don't know if you're going to ask him to be an every down player. David Bailey has the most upside, obviously, and I think that I would project him to play a 4-3 defensive end just because I the tools, the length, and the nasty to play are all there.
The anchor's a different question. I haven't
Yeah.
seen that yet, but I've only
Oh,
done
by the
tape
way,
reviews.
one thing that you guys will see in the film review is that Ruben Bang can take on a double team.
Hell yeah, he can. It might be the best thing he does, other than his
He
hands.
he uses the kickstand like he's a defensive tackle.
Yeah, it works. After you do some tape review and stuff, I think the most realistic thing at number 9 is Caleb Downs for the Chiefs. What do you think of the most realistic pick at 9? If we get a first rounder for McDuffie, that would change that. Probably is where he's going there. I mean, most realistic. I personally feel that Bain might fall to them at 9. Most people disagree with me. I think most likely, I don't think Keldrick Falk is a top 10 player. I think it comes down to a couple of guys, whether you go offensive tackle. I think you could have a couple of options there. And your guy, Delane, the corner, I think that could be a pick there as well.
Yeah, I mean I'm extremely high on Mansour Delane. Corner, again, it depends on what ends up happening, but there's also nothing wrong with going best player available. If it's a corner, okay, you go corner and then you figure it out. And that's what you should do. So, and if it's not a tight end, I can tell you that right now. I know people are having Kenyon Sadiq mocked to the Chiefs a ton. I don't get it. I love Kenyon Sadiq. I love him, but I don't think the Chiefs would be drafting there. So I do think realistically, Caleb Downs makes a lot of sense, especially if Steve Spagnuolo is the defensive coordinator. Like that is you're already playing in a defense, an NFL defense. We're going to come in, you're going to start right away. And then the problem now is that what happens to Jaden Hicks? I don't know. Can't tell you that, but he should take over the Jamar Connor role if that happens.
Ooh, you can only hope, right? Appreciate you, Dax, and we will have it for you all off season. Get on NFL 33. Make sure when the Matrix comes out and our draft guy comes out, we'll have all that for you as well. Go to Bleacher Report now so you can see Dan's work as well as Brandon's and Damien's and everybody else that's involved over there. More power to them. I appreciate what you guys do. I hope we address the D-line in the draft. Well, you and me too, Jay. I don't see how they can't. They generally are pretty self-aware of their needs in the front office. I question some of their player evaluations, but they generally understand their needs very well.
They do a pretty good job at that.
Yeah. I don't think we've even had a running back Andy would run the ball. Even if we had a running back, Randy would run the ball. It's a waste of time unless they can catch. Absolutely. I do think that they recognize that they're not running the ball well enough to help their offense. But even when he says he recognizes it's all still about setting up the run. And that you're exactly right there. They need more athleticism there, not just power backs that they didn't have to spend draft picks on.
I'm having a hard time with the running back thing because I think Andy Reid is going to take this offseason as a true look in the mirror situation because he's already talking about how when they wanted to run play action, the teams didn't respect the play action enough. That is there is a real direct correlation to how you make that happen. And there's only one way to make that happen. So yep. I have hope.
I hope you're right. I have more faith in you than Andy doing that. So Red, guys, I'm so thankful for the work you do in the draft. Thank you. I know
Thank
it takes days and weeks of hard work on your eyes. So good because most of us couldn't do it. And Dan has gotten way more efficient and better at it than me, guys. So take what he says and run with it. Faithful, appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Who would you want the Chiefs to get at wide receiver, running back, tight end in the draft or free agency? And do you think they will change the offensive scheme? That's dumb. That's a good one. Whew.
Ooh, Faithful, I don't think
That's
they're
a-
going to be changing the scheme. I don't think so. That's not going to happen. But you can add some things. You don't have to change the scheme, but you can add things here and there. So that's probably where I lean. But if I had to guess, they're going to draft a day 2 or day 3 running wide receiver and a running back, and they're probably going to bring in a running back in free agency, maybe a receiver as well.
I think they might go free agency for tight end too.
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
I feel like they want somebody that is mentally ready to step in to the Travis role because they know they don't have it filled.
If you can get a real NFL blocking NFL tight end as well, like that, you should be able to find one in this class, or excuse me, in this free agent class. Yeah, you should be able to.
Thanks, Faithful. Des, thank you, pal. Thoughts on Downs at 9, trade McDuffie, re-sign Watson. That is one of the scenarios. And obviously we talked about Downs at 9. I don't know that he lasts that long, but trade McDuffie means you must re-sign Watson. Absolutely. Trade Chris Jones means you must go out and find a pass rusher in that position. I just don't know if you can do it in free agency or not. I'm not digging the free agent class in terms of affordability for what you get for pass rush. And so far, the draft class isn't really bringing it for me. Do you have thoughts?
I'm sorry, on what for the draft class?
Defensive tackle. Like,
okay, defensive tackle. Yeah,
how would they would replace Chris Jones? By keeping Watson, you couldn't let McDuffie go, basically, right?
At this point, I don't think you can trade Chris Jones away. The options at defense tackle are they're not really there for what you actually need, unless you're going to just let Omar Norman Lott lose that weight and then play 3 tech like that. Yeah. Realistically speaking, that's what would have to happen if you traded away Chris Jones. He would have to step in to that role immediately. I don't know if he's ready to do that, and not only because of the injury, but because of his body type at the current moment. So that's where I currently stand. But this is going to be I've said it before, it's the most important offseason in the Chiefs dynasty era. This right now is the most important. They have to see that. They have to realize that. They have to actually make real changes to the way that they are currently operating with their player evaluations, and the looks in the mirror have to be harder. They can't just be on the face. You have to go deeper. You have to see depth issues. You have to realize some of the talent deficiencies that you've had in places that you've overlooked the past couple of off seasons, like defensive tackle, like defensive end.
Yeah, I don't see a free agent pass rusher in the defensive tackle group. I just don't see it. And that's honestly why I'm a little bit more heartbroken about Amari Washington, because I thought he could come in and play the one and let Omar Norman Lott become the 3 tech that we know that he should be. Well, we'll see if that happens in the future. I guess I have to wait. Thanks,
if they trade down, maybe get Caden McDonald to play the 1, and then you have Omar Norman Lott play the 3. Like, but that's because Caden McDonald is the only guy now at defense tackle that probably goes in the top. That's a real 1 tech that goes in the top 20, 25.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Perry, thank you, buddy, again. So back to my question yesterday. NIL affecting the draft. Also, Miami is offering Simpson 5.6. I'm sorry, 6.5. I'm an idiot. To transfer. That would make him paid more than all but 6 picks. Yeah, I mean, that is what's affecting it. I hope he goes back because I don't think he's fully baked. I think it's a mistake for Simpson to enter this draft myself, but NIL might pull him back. You never know.
It might. I think to get fully baked, he's going to have to go to the NFL. I don't think it's college is doing it for him. I think he has to go sit under a Matt Stafford for a year or one of these older guys and learn. I think that's the best path forward for him.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You definitely will learn a ton. That's for sure. Freak, I appreciate you. Nice to see you. Do you believe we need to upgrade our QB coach? I feel like Mahomes has regressed in terms of his fundamentals, his feet, arm mechanics, etc. Or am I just being a clueless Brit? Not at all. You are not being clueless. I will say this, though, with both Andy Reid and Matt Nagy, yes, the quarterback coach is involved, but David Girardi is not the driving force for the performance that Patrick Mahomes has on the field. It does come back to the OC and Andy himself. And this is yet again where on most teams, the quarterback coach is one of the most important assistants because they help prepare your quarterback to go to battle every week. In Kansas City, that's not the case. It's one of the most junior positions because you have two way more qualified guys that are always talking to Patrick. So my concern is that Joe Blairmeyer is a very good researcher. He's a passing enthusiast. I'm worried they're going to make him the OC because he's put in work to earn a promotion, but I think he should go through the path of the quarterback coach and get to that in another couple of years. I don't think he's ready to be an OC.
Yeah, me either. I don't believe so. I think that it's a little bit on Patrick himself. At the end of the day, you create your own habits, and Patrick has gotten away a lot with his habits in the past. Right now, he's not. I think he needs to retool. Maybe this injury, maybe this recovery will force him to go back to the basics a bit more and fix some of the footwork fundamentals that he's been missing over the past couple of years.
Yeah, I dice rolling makes me nervous, but yes.
Yeah.
Off duty. Maybe I'm just being a downer, but I'm starting to think that it may take us 2 years to right our ship with all the talent deficiencies and holes in the roster. What are your thoughts on this? I think that the number of one-game margins that they lost this year will even out somewhat all on its own, and I do think that they have enough capital to fill the gaps that they have to in order to be a contending team, if not a championship team.
I'm right there with you. And I just think that, and I hate to quote Andy Reid, these little things, right? Just this execution here, that execution there. I don't necessarily think it's just talent deficiencies. Like, if they do execute a little bit better, if they don't have the penalties, like, they're probably winning more than half of the games that they lost. They are going to lose some based on the talent deficiencies, but if they actually address defensive tackle, if they actually address defensive end a little bit better and safety, I think they're going to be just fine. And yes, they still need one wide receiver that is not Juju Smith-Schuster's size that can block. He needs to be a little bit bigger. That is one thing I'm coming back to is Rashee Rice, for his size, doesn't block very effectively. He doesn't have the ferocity to want to, really. He just doesn't. And we know that Xavier Worthy was not brought here to block. Like, that's not what it was. Juju Smith-Schuster is your best blocker. And honestly, Jalen Royals might be your second best blocker. And that's a rookie. So it's not a great place to be. And they still need one guy that can come in and block a bit better, I think, to help the run game as well. But also add a little bit of something to the wide receiver room that you don't really have.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm going to go watch Sherrod about. I didn't pay attention to his blocking, to tell you the truth. Haven't worked him up, by the way, so I'll get there eventually, folks. Off duty, thank you again. Dan, you guys rock, by the way. Haven't been able to watch you much this season. RGR rocks, and hopefully the Chiefs have a good offseason this year. Thank you, buddy. And it's a good-looking guitar as well as the little one. So cheers to you. Dr. Who, this is the question of the day. How do we root against the Bills and the Broncos if they're playing each other? That's the hard part. You almost got to make a choice. And personally, for me, living in Bronco country, I'm going to go for the Bills because I want Josh to get a championship because I like Josh, and I want everybody right off into the sunset and shut the hell up about it. That's what I would like.
There's two things that I know. Josh Allen is a hell of a quarterback, and Bo Nix is a fraud. I am here for Josh Allen beating the Broncos.
I like Bo Nix still. Dang it. Knicks fan, interesting concept here, and I've rolled this around myself. Kingsley should go to right tackle and draft a right guard. It would have been one of the options had someone else gotten hurt or something like that. But quite frankly, he's on such an ascending trajectory right now at guard. I don't know that I'd mess with it.
If you had no other choice, okay, I can see this, but I actually think that Kingsley is going to be a top 5 guard in the NFL. Maybe I don't know. The talent has always been there. He's always been there. So with this continued trajectory, now that he's got his very first season ever playing guard, I want you guys to understand how crazy it is. He's never played guard in his life. And he came in this year and was not just an average guard, he was a good NFL guard.
Mm-hmm.
The sky for him right now at guard is unlimited right now, and I don't want to mess that up.
In fact, I'm going to do this while you're taking the next question, because I do believe I saw something impressive about him the other day on a site that I don't always agree with, but I want to point it out. Let me look at this.
I appreciate that, Kingsley, and thank you, Teddy, for the super chat. Tyson at 9, injury luck. So I wouldn't be super mad about Tyson at 9 if there were no other options. Like if there were no other options and you're there taking best player available. Again, yes, I would be okay with it. However, there would be some reconfiguring having to happen. If you do draft him, you don't have Tyquan Thornton probably. You don't have Juju Smith-Schuster. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And again, if it is best player available, you're not going to hear me complain about it too much. But there are other places that you can get with top-rated talent, and I think still that fill real needs.
I agree.
Texans just scored a touchdown, by the way. I don't know if you saw.
Yes, they did. And the extra point is good. Kingsley went from a player that was benched and had no playing time to a top 50 guard in this league.
You mean 15 or 50?
50. That's a pretty significant jump. And in pass blocking, it looks like he's graded 38 by PFF on the season. Now, again, I don't put everything into PFF, but that's a significant jump. And I think, what did he have on the season? I think 10 pressures allowed. Is that what it was? Because
I wouldn't be surprised. He did have some, but I mean,
I'm sorry. It was 24 pressures.
Okay.
It was 8 hits, less than 8 hits, give up 3 sacks. Moving into guard to a new position change and playing at that level, I am very, very high on. And I think that is worth continuing at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. A couple more, folks, and we're going to wrap it up. Last call for anything you want to talk about. If Tyreek gets cut, would you roll the dice on a cheap 1-year deal? I mean, the man is broke. Broke in. I don't know if he's ever going to run the same way again.
What do you mean he's broken? He's fine.
He had a significant injury at 32 years old.
Significant? He's going to be fine.
I'm not sure.
If there's one thing that I have learned about the NFL, you bet on the alien athletes. I'm betting on an alien athlete to recover and be just fine.
Okay. All right. Then you have it there, info. We would be split on this topic. Luis, thank you. Hopefully this Rice incident does make us go get a wide receiver again. I feel like deja vu. I understand, and I had that initial reaction as well. It looks like that's been taken down and is no longer an issue. I don't know if it was ever real to begin with. I don't know. I can't get into all of that because there's no way for me to know the truth. But the thing is, this is going to be his last shot. He either plays a full season, keeps his nose clean in the offseason, or then it is seriously time to do that. There may be a reason to add a wide receiver in the top 100 anyway. I just don't think it's round 1.
That's the thing here, is that, do you want to extend him? Is the headache going to be worth it? If the little things continue to pile up, we don't know if this is true or not, but the fact that it came up leaves you to believe that there will always be possibly something that happens with Rashee Rice. So again, I'm not trying to say that it didn't happen. We don't know. All we know is that this post was put up and then taken down. That's the information that we have. So that's all I can tell you.
I agree. Thank you, Luis. Appreciate it. 1969, thank you. What does it take to trade McDuffie this offseason? Not sure Chiefs have the cap to keep him. Well, he's going to be on this 5th year. He'll be at $13 million on the cap no matter what. There's no question there. It's what you do after that. I believe they should be able to get at least a second, possibly a first, for Trent McDuffie. I don't know if you're getting multiple picks, and I don't know if you're getting a top 15 pick for him.
My issue is that Sauce Gardner was traded for 2 first-round picks. And my thinking is that the Chiefs are going to be like, we should be able to get a first and second for Trent McDuffie. That's going to be hard for teams to swallow that aren't actively trying to win a Super Bowl. At the time that the Colts traded for Sauce Gardner, it was, we believe we can win a Super Bowl right now. So we're going to go trade these picks away and get Sauce Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
That mindset in the offseason, just it's not there. We're not in the midst of this. We don't need one more player here. So I think he's worth a first and a third. I don't know how the NFL is going to see it. I do think you can get a first no matter what. But again, we will find out.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope it's not even in the cards. I think it's better to invest in the younger player. If you're going to trade one, I think you need to make the most out of Chris Jones. I think he brings you more. John, have y'all checked out Lee Hunter, solid day 2 guy? I do have him on day 2, and I have watched him along with the rest of the defensive line. I haven't finished completely grading him out, but I do like what he does, and I do think top 100 is in the realm of possibility. So let's see what the further evaluation does and where he falls. Point is, get after the passer. Let's get some. So that's where we're going. Knicks fan, I think without PM, we would have lost more games. I think that's very astute.
I agree with you. Absolutely.
I mean, imagine this season without Patrick Mahomes.
I don't want to.
Are we staring at three wins max?
They're picking in the top 5.
Yeah, probably right. Knicks fan, thank you, buddy, and thanks for being one of our members. Cheers to you. Chiefs 007, James Bond. Thanks for the support. Ryan, I'm shocked you said that you would like to see the Bills win. Media glorifies Allen enough. Imagine if he won. That's very true. I have a different perspective only because I don't watch anybody else's media. So it doesn't bother me as much. But you do have a good point. What I want to do is I just want to say, everybody, I feel like a lot of the nation is always pulling for Josh to beat Patrick. And I want him to have some success so they shut up about some of that when Patrick's not in the field. So go get your championship. I don't want him to ever beat Patrick. That's how I feel.
There would be an asterisk next to his name too for this one if he did win.
Yeah.
It would say, well, Patrick was in the postseason. Okay. There would be.
The Reaper was on vacation, bro. It don't count. Don't know what to tell you. We're going to wrap it up with Faithful. Thank you, buddy, again. Appreciate it. I'm concerned Mahomes will start getting frustrated with how talent is being utilized and acquired on offense. Seems like a big fix can get it done. Can be done. Sorry. I understand that. I feel like he's already started to show signs of being frustrated, more with the protection than it is the weapons. But I do think it's talent across the board.
Yeah, he's been dealing with an offensive line, and this year's a little bit different because the injuries kind of took away. This year's, I think, was going to be one of the best offensive lines that we'd seen, and Josh Simmons showed that. But little things creep up. Patrick has a voice. He's not afraid to use it. And I think that this is the offseason that we are going to see his influence maybe impacting decision-making a little bit differently than we've seen in the past. He's over 30. This is no longer he can't have seasons like this. He can't have a 6-11 year. I know he got hurt, but he doesn't want to have those. And I think that that's what we're going to end up seeing pushed forward.
Agreed. Shotgun, couple of answers. Weston, there's a possibility to take a tight end in the draft. I absolutely think so. Cheering for the Bills with the Chiefs out, but my girlfriend's a Broncos fan. I know your pain, Nevis.
You're going to have to do something, help her out with that one.
Yeah, well, sometimes there's just no cure. You love who you love. Knicks fan, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you saying that. And we love you guys too. We couldn't do this without you. Yesterday was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't get a chance, if you didn't get to watch the live stream, go check it out just for a couple minutes. I know it's 3 hours. You don't need to watch the whole thing. But just see what you like about the tempo and the way that we did things because we'd like to do it again. So I think that's good for me, Dan. Any parting thoughts?
No, just you guys, this is going to be a long process. So with more information, opinions change. We're going to say something tonight that will probably be different in a month, 2 months from now. So don't hold us to draft opinions from right now. If I say something that I tell you guys to clip, then go do that and then show it to me in April. Right. We'll talk about it then. Right. But if not, we're going to have changing information. But this is one of the more fun times of the NFL calendar for sure.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Enjoyed this playoff game. I know it's weird having a playoff game on Monday night. I still can't use it. I'm going to go watch it as well. And we'll be back with you this week. And look for Sunday. I believe we'll do one of the games because I'm traveling until Sunday morning. So we'll do a Sunday stream of a playoff game. And we'll go from there. Q&A all season long. Thank you, guys. It looks like a lot of you guys were happy with it. So we'll plan on doing the same thing. Have a great one. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.